In this video, what I'd like to do is to take a deeper dive into what Bill 44 is and how it may impact you and I as homeowners, in particular property owners. What is Bill 44? We noticed that over the past couple of years, home prices and rentals have skyrocketed, and housing in this particular region has become quite unaffordable. So what the BC province has done is said, oh, well, okay guys, we need to build more housing, but we need more land. So where do we find this land? Well, let's just reformulate the land use policy. Instead of just allowing the developer or builder to build one single family unit on this particular lot, what we're going to do is we're going to allow developers or homeowners to build more than one, up to 4, up to 6 units on a particular lot. And this essentially is what Bill 44 is all about. Good or bad, we don't know yet. It's certainly going to change the look and feel of the neighborhood, but this is all in the effort to increase the housing supply and affordability. Affordability. So what are some of our options? Well, it depends largely on our needs. We may choose to do absolutely nothing. Or if our home, for example, we are empty nesters and our home is in some need for repairs and maintenance, we may choose to do some renovation. The next thing we may choose to do is to sell and move out. That is an option, of course, for everyone. And then we may choose to go full Monty. By that I mean we may choose to break down the current residence, the current house, and rebuild a 4 or 6 unit, small scale unit, multifamily unit. So the options are all up to us. Let's take a look at some of the pros and cons of each of these moves. The pros and cons of doing nothing, of course, is we don't need to spend any money, and our house is in a state where we're absolutely happy with what it is, and so we can live with what we have, and so that's not a big deal. If we choose to do renovations, of course, there are some pros. We may choose to implement some of the new features that are currently available in modern homes. For example, we may choose to do some better, we may choose to install better lighting. We may choose to paint, because a lot of times the older homes seem to be a little bit on the dark side. And you know, when it comes to creating mood, unless you want to get into a romantic mood, I guess, you know, a dark home isn't really conducive to generating happy feelings, shall we say. So we may choose to make some renovations to bring more light into the home, paint the home, add additional lighting fixtures, that kind of stuff. Or we may choose to make the home more safe. For example, safety is an issue, and in some cases we may choose to we may have the need to build certain ramps, or in the bathrooms, for example, install some grab bars. And home energy efficiency is, of course, another issue. We may choose to add double or triple glazing to the windows. All that kind of renovation will add benefits to us as homeowners. Of course, the other big benefit to renovating is we get to live in an area where we are familiar with. There's no need to move away and go to some place where we have to make new friends. We are familiar with the area, the shops are just very close by, our friends and family are in the neighborhood. So that's the big advantage of just renovating and staying in place. Some of the disadvantages of renovation, of course, the inconvenience of having builders walking in and out of a house, well, that's to be expected. And there's also the issue of dust and generally inconvenience, and also there's the issue of unexpected costs and unexpected delays. Nothing goes according to plan, but planning is essential, as they say. I think that was what Churchill said. Even though we have fantastic plans, even if our plans are to the T, there's always going to be some kind of unexpected delay. and this is to be expected. You know, the labor force, there might be some kind of shortages in certain areas, and something happens. That's life. Some of us are not into this whole building and all these kinds of projects, so we may decide and say, well, you know what, this place no longer meets our needs. We are going to sell the current home and buy something else. This is obviously the second option. What are some of the advantages? Well, the advantage, I think, the big advantage would probably be the fact that the home that you're now going to be purchasing and moving into is going to better meet the needs that you have at this point in time. And also, in some cases, because the property is smaller and built to current standards, there's a good chance that these properties are more energy efficient. We're going to be paying less tax, we're going to be paying less maintenance, and so the big benefit here would be reduction in costs most of the times, right? And then obviously there are other advantages, like if we are wanting to travel, there's a good chance that if we buy into a strata, the security levels are a lot better than if we have the single lot and there's nobody to look after the place when we're away. There are obviously some disadvantages if you buy into a strata, for example. Definitely we're going to lose some of the privacy that we had in the past. Also, we're going to have to abide by certain bylaws. If we are in a strata, we may not be able to do this, or there may not be enough parking spots, this, that and the other. In some cases, it doesn't mean that we have to move into strata. We could buy a smaller home. So that too is an option, because smaller homes, as with stratas, the maintenance on these homes are obviously a lot less. And then also we don't have to worry about having to arrange all these things like repairs and that kind of stuff if you buy into a new home. The maintenance will be a little ways down the line, so that definitely is a reduction in the stress that we should be experiencing. We may be in that situation where we're saying to ourselves, you know what, I have the energy, I have the desire, I have the time and the resources to break down our current home and to build a new fourplex or a new sixplex depending on the location and the size of our property. There are advantages and disadvantages. Let's take a look at some of the advantages. Because we are already living in this neighborhood, we probably have a sense of community, and all our friends are here. Our social network is established in this particular area, and it makes more sense for us to stay in the area. But the only hassle is obviously the fact that our home no longer serves our need. And it may be too old, or it may be too large, and so there's a lot of wasted space, so to speak. So by developing this fourplex or sixplex, there may be some advantages. For example, we could design it in a manner where we live in one of the units, or then either sell or give the other units to sell, or give the other units to some of our family members. It may be that our children are unable to afford a home at this point in time, or it may be that our grandchildren are in need of a place, or there might be the option to rent out the other units, depending on our tolerance levels in terms of renting. So there is definitely that advantage, is that we are able to stay in the place that we are familiar with. The shops, we know all the shops, we know all the people in the neighborhood, our neighbors and things like that. Some of the challenges, I wouldn't say disadvantages, but some of the challenges are, to the time it takes to build, to deconstruct and to build a new place. We have to find, obviously, a new place to live while the structures are being built, and then as I've mentioned previously, there's always a certain kind of unexpected, either be it delays or costs. So there's that kind of issue. Anyway, those were some of the pros and cons of breaking down the existing house and building a new multiplex, going full Monty. In concluding, what we did was we looked at what Build 44 is, very briefly, and also briefly looked at some of the pros and cons of the different options available to homeowners. Obviously, in a video of this sort, we cannot cover everything. Each home and each family has specific needs and wants. I should say each family needs specific needs and wants. And each situation needs to be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. If you are looking at the possibility of any of the options that we've spoken about in this video, I invite you to reach out to me. It doesn't cost any of us anything except a bit of time, and let's explore the option, and maybe together we could find something that would work for you and your family. So please feel free to reach out to me. I do look forward to hearing from you, whether by way of phone call or some comments on my video. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.